So, what do you see the role of energy work or energetic hygiene being in a person's life?
Well, you hit on the word I was gonna say. I like to think about energy work as hygiene, that it is like you wouldn't stop brushing your teeth or washing your hair or like most of us, maybe for if we go camping for a period of time, but not on a regular daily. There are just certain things that we've always done that were taught to us early for most of us that contribute to our well-being. And I feel, see, sense, use energy work in a very similar way. At the base form, at the most simplest form, it's a great way to just have hygiene in your life, health hygiene. So I don't think of it as like this big, like we're striving to make ourselves somebody different, or we're biohacking and we're like gonna live forever if we do energy work. And maybe these things can be what you authentically like start to lean into as you uncover more of our own truths, as we uncover more of our own truth. It will be expressed in different ways through different people. And for sure, what we do is not the only way to do energy hygiene or energy work. But I have found that what we work with and what we teach is very much a part of just staying healthy as a human being on the planet. And when we think about health, it's mind, body, and a lot of times it's mind, body, spirit. Yes, for sure. If you're not like really interested in tending to the spiritual, the question that I pose is, if you are an energetic being in an energetic universe, wouldn't it be such a shame if you never connected with your own energy, if you never took the time to sit down and meditate and look inward, if you only faced outward your whole entire life and you didn't know that inside of you and all around you, you're actually really magical. There's so much to explore. There's so many ways to empower yourself and gain more of yourself. I think that that would be a sad existence. That would be sad if you never took the time to know yourself in that way. The other thing that I also find really interesting is that if you've only looked inward, if you've only gone deep, deep, deep into your subconscious or spent years and years and years in your meditation practice, so much so that you've kind of isolated yourself, which happens with a lot of energetically sensitive people. You get so sensitive that you have to go in, and almost as if you're living in a cave, you can't really engage with regular life. You can't taste the tastes. You can't have the like outrageous laughter. You can't engage in some of the very delicious human things because you're so sensitive and because you spend all of your time inward. That too feels very out of balance to me. So what I call either, it's oftentimes like a calling to come more in or a calling to come more out. And energy work is like kind of the magic sauce. It's the lubricant to help us gauge so that we can have a fuller experience of our life.
Yeah, and it can provide a nice balancing. And so, like you said, it's not about hiding, but it's about being able to have kind of like, if you like, I like to think about it when, a long time ago when I used to live in Brooklyn, and I would go out in Brooklyn or in Manhattan, especially if I was wearing sandals, and I would come home and I would think of it as like, ew, I have city feet. I have to go wash my feet. They're so dirty. And so I would wash my feet because they were dirty from all of the walking around on all the dirty streets. But there was also so much amazing stuff to see and engage with. But I also don't want to go get on my couch or get in my bed with my dirty city feet. And so an amusing metaphor, providing a way of being able to engage with life, but also come back to yourself. But also at the same time, as a young me, when I was living in a really busy city, I also actually had like a horrible insomnia for most of the time that I lived there. Because I did not know how to ground my space, how to separate from all of the intense energies of a really, really busy city. And so that the energetic hygiene probably would have helped my experience in my body as well. But yeah, it's a good way to balance and engage with the world from a place of being able to take in, to offer, to experience, but also to have your own space come back to you, separate in a healthy way, not in a hiding way, and also not in a pushing away type manner. And just like with anything, there is a learning curve and experience is different for everyone. But you want to be able to wash your dirty city feet at the end of the day, but also enjoy all the richness of the experience.
Yeah, you want to wash your city feet and clear your energy, and then you can go to sleep. Absolutely, absolutely. And just that kind of very common human thing that is like you might go into a place and it might be filled with people that you love, but you might come back and be like, ugh, like I don't feel good, or I feel like, ugh, like something's not, and you might not have language for it. You might not have, and when I say language, I mean just like energetic awareness of it. And it's not necessarily even about naming everything. Like you don't have to be like, oh, Susie was running really weird energy and now I'm weird. And like, it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be like, I know how to wash, I know how to clean, and I know how to ground, and I know how to get back to myself. I know actually how to come home to me. You can cross the threshold, but you might not be all the way home yet.
Yeah. And also too, and you can get yourself ready to physically go see the world in any number of different ways. And it can also be really helpful to energetically prepare yourself to be out and among the world too. And not to say that energetic hygiene is only for interacting with other people, but that is a big role that it takes. And so for me, it's like, if you're leaving for the day, I like to have my purse, I like to have some water, maybe a snack, keys. I also like to have my energetic grounding and my definition for my space, because that's just part of how I prepare myself to be in the world in a way that feels good.
Yep, you put your pants on or whatever, and then you also put your grounding cord in. Amazing. Well, I think that's a wonderful, and I look forward to more of these conversations.